Welcome back, everybody, to Bucks and Ducks, brought to you by the Wild Faith Podcast. My name is Evan Bungham, and I have my co-host Luke Timmons with me here tonight, and we have a fun episode for you. We are kicking off this episode. Wisconsin waterfowl openers already kicked off, and we got Minnesota kicking off this week with early teal, which I think already started on the 1st, and we got the 6th.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And early goose.
For Minnesota, and then it was the 1st for early goose and teal in Wisconsin.
Which is crazy. We're here. We're there.
Yeah, in it.
Luke, how are we doing tonight?
Good. Yeah, we're in it, man. Went out to over by Milwaukee just got back today, so it was.
I was gonna say, you got the break to seal.
Yeah, it wasn't much of a break, but we got out there.
Still hunting.
Yeah, still hunting. Just it was tough go at it. A lot of local, not a lot, but local geese. So unless you're on where they've been going for the whole summer, they're not coming in. But we did have a nice little cold front, so hopefully that starts to push some birds further south. I mean, it's gonna warm up significantly.
It got cold. I mean, it was like it went from a point of where you almost can't adjust fast enough. You know, you go from wearing shorts and a t-shirt and sandals every day to where it's like, oh, wow, I got to throw on sweatshirt, pants.
Yeah. You got to love this time of year. It's because it's going to be back in the 80s probably this week.
Perfect. Love to hear that for bow opener. That is exactly what every bow hunter wants to know. It's like, give me as hot as it can get.
Yep. It's usually how it goes, though, for bow opener, right?
It's pretty typical. I can't tell you the last time that we've had a bow opener in Minnesota that has been like conditions are right, where you're feeling really froggy about killing like a target buck, where it's like this cold front we had this last weekend. I mean, deer were on their feet everywhere.
Yeah, that's just how it is, man. I don't know. It's tough. I don't know if I've really had like in a hot minute trail cams of, a target buck, and then I actually could like go make a play on them. You know what I mean? It's usually like the between 10 and 3 AM pictures.
Yeah, it's a hard time. I mean, like you see a lot of guys that, obviously going out to North Dakota that are being successful, but they're doing putting in the time of scouting and watching fields and glassing. And obviously haven't been able to do that down on the farm this year. I mean, it's all via trail camera and what we have for previous history, but pumped to go shoot a doe though.
Yeah. Get some replenish the old freezer up, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have some venison, which sounds pretty darn tasty at this point in time.
Yeah. Yes, sir. It does. Get some, I know with that cold front, I was like getting excited for like chili and venison stews and everything. And now it's like, I gotta think about turning the AC back on, which I just love doing. It's like we've had the house open up for like the last couple weeks. It's been perfect. Now it's back to summer.
You know what though? It'll go by quick. I mean, it
always does.
That's the craziest thing about fall is it goes by too freaking fast. So it's like, we'll enjoy this last hurrah of warm weather, and then it's gone. And then before you know it, it's snowing. And then we have snow for 5 months, and that's miserable.
Yeah, that's true. But I will say I was ready for this. I was ready to keep the cold front, the cold.
If I could keep a sweatshirt, like we went for a walk tonight as a family, and it was like one of those things where it's like, if the weather could just stay as is for 2 months, I'd be ecstatic. We're talking like upper 50s, low 60s, gets chilly at night, chilly in the morning, nice during the day. Yeah, I could live with that for a long time, but it's short and lived, I feel like.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. But yeah, I mean, I guess like we were talking right on the tip of this, it was first time getting out hunting, and now it's just the craziness of fall is setting in.
It's time. I'm excited. Yeah. So this kind of brings me into my question for you, though. So I want to know, we're talking early season. You just got done on a goose hunt. And, I feel like with early season goose, you are kind of stuck to where these geese are landing and feeding and all that stuff. And really weather plays maybe a little bit of a role into it, but not that much because you're hunting local birds. But I want to know like that. Give me some advice for people out there when we're talking about 2-3 weeks from now, when birds are really going to start transitioning and migrating a little bit. Like, what are those weather conditions that you're looking for? That's like, we need to get out in the blind and go hunt.
Cold fronts.
Like any particular cold fronts or just a cold front in general?
Just, yeah. I mean, you know, like when we talked with Joey last week on the pod, like when you start getting that early morning where you're having to throw a sweatshirt on or a lighter jacket or something, that's usually go time. I mean, like it's still early. Like obviously we didn't do great this weekend, but we found birds. We were in play on some of them. We got caught with our pants down a couple times, just trying to get some footage and some filming done. And it was like, okay, go do this and I'll film it quick. And then all of a sudden you look up and there's like a 4-pack of geese flying over. It's like, great. That was
days.
That was worth it. But yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of like watching, just like you do for deer hunting, whatever.
I mean, is there a set time usually where it's like, yep, it's September 28th, birds are flying, just kind of like we look at like the pre-rut where it's usually that week before Halloween.
I mean, I'm still pretty new into waterfowl, to be honest. So I don't have much I have about maybe 3 years of knowledge in my back pocket, and it's not a full 3 years. So, I mean, obviously as the season goes on, it gets better. You get more birds coming through. Moving to La Crosse now, I'm completely out of my element, literally. So it'll be interesting. It'll be fun to watch it. I mean, we just drove to Menards tonight for a couple things. I needed to mount a light bar on the boat, and
nice.
There was geese flying here. So now I'm thinking like, well, shit. Now I need to go find some floater decoys and go run the river one of these weekends. So we'll see. But I mean,
nice.
I mean, obviously, as the season gets on, it's just like deer hunting. It gets better, and then once you get really late, it tapers off because everything's probably flown south or something. So, but the big thing for me this year is just going to be figuring out the river. I've tried to get out as much as I can, find all the little pockets and sloughs, mark things on Onyx, especially like don't go here, you'll get stuck. I did just get Avery, I think is the brand. It's like a big giant mud pole.
Oh, nice.
It's got like this arm that comes or like a little at the end of it. Yeah. There's like this spring loaded arm, so you can like push into the mud, but as you pull it out, like the spring closes and stuff, so you can.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, so I mean, it'll definitely, because like I was out the other weekend with Joey running around, trying to find some spots, and we found some, but it was like, okay, I need to get another like 40 yards, 20 yards. And so it's like, if I have that little mud pool, I can crank up the motor on the boat and just push my way in there. And, or, even in spots I could get to just, it'll be nice just to kind of strategically move myself around. And,
so I've got one more for you, not the double dip, but
yeah,
being that you've made it, I mean, 3 years, I think, is still a lot of time, but being that you say that you're still fairly new, for somebody else that's fairly new, what would you value more is in terms of gear of like prioritizing level? Like just saying like you've got an old shotgun, say you got an 870, whatever that might be. Like, are you valuing getting
the Weatherby Element 2?
Well, I know that, which is super exciting, but I'm saying for somebody else that's listening, like, would you value getting a new gun, new waders, or maybe like new calls? Like if you had, we'll just say $600. I would.
Well, you're not getting far.
Okay. Well, you get my point.
Yeah. Though. No, I know. Yeah. I would, in that order of importance. God, that's tough.
That's a hard one.
Yeah, that is tough. That's a good question. If like I had to rank those three in the order of which I'd want to buy it, getting into it, I'd probably put calls at 3, because you're gonna, it's a lot like turkey calls. Like you're going to, if you go out and buy a call,
still got to be good with it.
Well, you still got to be good with it, but you may not be good with it. You know what I mean? Like some calls just work better for different people.
Is there a dummy proof call? I mean, is there like a push button duck call?
Yeah. I don't know if there's like the what is that turkey called? The box yelp or whatever, the little spring one.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's something like that, but I mean, like there's obviously calls that are fairly easy to use, you know, whether it's like I still have like running just like with a Buck Gardner double nasty. It's a really entry level call for ducks, but it's kind of dummy proof. And it's one of those things. And I think like once you figure out, you know, like I'd probably put a gun first. I think you're going to want something that you can trust. And then it's something also, again, in the realm of, does it work for you?
Yeah.
Does it, you use it how you want? But what I was going with at the beginning was like, it's all about your level of like how much you're willing to suck through or, you know, go through the suck. Cause like, you know, really good pair of waders can really make or break a hunt too if it's nasty out or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I would probably put like gun 1, waders like 1A, 1B, or 2, and then call. And it's all stuff like you can upgrade because then it's like now you're getting into, you know, the 4th one would be decoys. So you know, if you need decoys,
I didn't even throw that in there. That's probably that's up there too.
Yep. And it's like I don't, you know, like. If anyone's just getting into it, like, unless, like, I hate to tell people, like, you don't need to do this, this, and this. If you want to go full send and drop a butt ton of money, go for it. And
drop a down payment.
At least, you know, so, I mean, like, if you're just like full tilt that this is what I'm doing, then send it, hit the send button, go, more power to you. But if you're like, I think I want to do this, then maybe like, kind of, like I said, just get into it. Don't drop a ton of money on calls, you know, get a solid pair of waders and a good gun that you can, you know, maybe use for multiple things, whether it's waterfowl, upland, or even deer. So,
yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a solid answer. That's good.
Yeah. Yep. It's, like I said, this is going to be a fun year.
I'm not going to lie. Turkey, you know, this is the hard thing that I'm having now. Now that I've kind of, I don't want to say been pressured, but it's like this is a weird year for me that I'm not going deer hunting somewhere. So it's like, what do I do with my time? So like, dude, the thought of me buying a goose call or duck call has crossed my mind probably about 10 times in the last couple weeks now. But I'm like, where in the hell am I going to practice? Because it's louder than hell. I'm like, I'm going to have to go lock myself in the truck and just go drive around and start calling again.
That's what I've done, is just throwing it in the...
Well, that's what I do turkey calling. I mean, that's how I cut my teeth turkey calling.
Yep.
But the curiosity, it's there, man. So I'm just like, oh, if I do that, then like... Here, watch me 3 years now. I'm going to be selling all my deer hunting shit and just be in the waterfall.
Yeah, you never know. I didn't really think I'd get into it. And then we moved to lacrosse and it's like, oh, going to get into it.
Yeah.
Bought a boat. Now I'm looking at finishing out my arsenal of needing a couple sets of decoys and another and a blind. And then it's going to be go time.
Heck yeah, man. Nice.
Yeah. Yep. But for switching up to the old buck side of this segment, what, trying to think of how to pose this one. Would you say early season, because it's less than a week away now, would you hunt, is it better to hunt like closer to food sources or bedding areas in early season?
Am I trying to kill my target buck?
Yeah, like if you got a buck, you kind of know, like, where are you setting up?
So here's my thoughts. If I was hunting on public, I don't care. I'm gonna try to get as close to that deer's bed that I can, and the odds of me killing them over food is probably slim to none because I don't know any public that's got food plots outside of acorns. You know. Might be able to hunt close to egg and stuff like that, but I would be trying to Dan infold it and, you know, hunting in the marsh or whatever that is and just getting tight to his bedding area before he gets up to go do what he's going to do for the evening. But in private, I look at it where time sensitive now, where we've been, we haven't been in the woods in almost 3 weeks now, which is good. But at the same time, it's like, some of the 4.5-year-olds that we have living on the farm, if we spook them, they might not come back for 3 weeks. I think of like Hightower, that older buck that we had that lived on the farm. I think we could have ran him out 2 or 3 times, and he was old enough that was his little core habitat area that I lived in. He'd find a way to circle back that next day. He just felt safe in that spot. But I personally, if it was like our farm, I'm probably going to be hunting food and just playing it safe and waiting for him to come out. Just how our bedding is laid out on the farm, and it's just not worth it to really push in there and just try to make it happen. And 3-4 weeks from now, when we're hitting October 27th through November 4th, getting into that time frame, like heck yeah, I'll be back in those doe bedding areas. But no, it's just not for private on the farm. It's not worth it right now. But on public, man, it's full send. If I know there's a deer bedding somewhere, I'm going to try to get as close as I can without bumping them.
I like it. How does that change? Like if you got like cell cameras out and you, like even at the home farm, like, and where that buck is, like, are you willing to hit full send and go in there?
That changes it. Being honest, our cameras have been, it's a little goofy this year. We've seen one of our 4 shooters, which is good, but still haven't seen the other 3. And usually, like I've said it on here before, usually it's about that last week of August all the way through the rest of the season. That's about when our main deer show up for the year, except for the exception of last year. We had one shooter that showed up like middle of October. And I look at it where if I have a deer patterned out saying that religiously he's been, look at this. This is a great example. Like this past weekend, we had our first cold front that came through, like legitimate cold front. Deer are on their feet everywhere. But it's taken in perspective now where this weekend it's going to be high 70s, low 80s. Like if that temperature stayed the same for 5 days, we've been rolling in that upper 70s, we'll just call it. And my target buck has been coming out 2 or 3 nights of the week on that same temperature, that same wind, to that same food plot, wherever that is, if it's the backside of a bean field or if it's in one of our kill plots. Yeah, I'm going to have a hard time not full sending it, getting in tight just because that deer's on a good habit. But, that's the hard thing we have with Minnesota. It's just like our season usually starts a little later, which is still early compared to a lot of other places, compared to Michigan and a bunch of other states. But, the second weekend of September, usually those bucks are shedded their velvet by then. They're transitioning already to their second habitat zones for the year. And it's kind of a goofy time. Like if you could have put a tag in my hand like 2 weeks ago, I would feel pretty froggy about it. But that's where I look at these guys in North Dakota, why they have such a good chance. Same thing with like Kentucky. These deer are just on habitual patterns that they've been on for the last month, just summer feeding patterns. And you get out there at the right temperature drop when they're actually out in their feet a little bit earlier, and you can make it happen. But yeah, dude, if I had one on pattern, I would for sure full send it. I mean, you only get so many days in the woods, so like, why not make it happen? And it's not like I live on the farm. So it's like if I lived back home, I'd probably be even more precautious, but it's like I'm only going to get maybe 10, 15 sits this year out at the farm. And it's like if I can get one sit to have a shot at them, it's like, yeah, I'm going to make it happen.
Right.
So, yeah.
Love it, dude. Sweet.
Yeah, it's time. I'm excited. It's I'm ready to put a bow in my hand. We did a fun 3D shoot this past weekend, which was a lot of fun with the family, and we did a 12 target 3D shoot, which was pretty fun. So it was fun to break out the bow and test the skills. I'm convinced I am not taking my trad bow for opener this year. I'm gonna take the compound, get it done, whack a doe. Keep practicing. Maybe this fall I'll bring out or late season I'll bring out the trad bow. But yeah, man, I'm excited. It's gonna be fun, and 'tis the season.
Yes, it is.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for joining us on this journey through faith in the great outdoors. We hope today's episode has inspired you to seek God's presence in the wilderness and deepen your connection with nature. If you enjoyed today's discussion, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to the Wild Faith Podcast on your favorite platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. By subscribing, you'll never miss an episode, and you'll continue to be a part of the Wild Faith Podcast community. We'd also love to hear from our listeners, so please don't hesitate to reach out with your questions, comments, or topic suggestions. You can connect with us on social media or through our website. Your feedback is important to us and helps us improve and tailor our content to better serve you. And always remember, the great outdoors isn't just a playground for hunting and fishing. It's a sanctuary for finding solace and spiritual renewal. As you gear up for that next adventure, I pray you find God's presence in the crackling of a campfire, the thrill of reeling in your catch, or the quiet solitude found in nature. Until next time, thank you for listening to the Wild Faith Podcast. Take care, and God bless.